we can start the general body meeting. Don't don't go for lunch yet, please. Here. Before we start this general body meeting, from the last session, what I really learned, research is much easier than teaching. Research can be described in 2 seconds. Other take a little bit longer. Oh, yes, no?
I think somebody has to move the.
Okay, we call the meeting. We start general body meeting. We start with condolence at the passing away of the INSA fellows, the fellows that we lost in 2023, Dr. Sunil Kumar Mukherjee, Professor Ramesh Chand Sachar, Professor Prahlad Kishore Seth, Professor Mahendra Pal Singh, Professor Krityunjay Prasad Sinha, Dr. Kupaswamy Nagarajan, and the foreign fellows, Dr. Nicholas Evrion Michison. I would the obituary notes briefly that I would read now. For Dr. Sunil Kumar Mukherjee, S.K. Mukherjee, um, born 5th January 1950, passed away on 30th March 2023, obtained his PhD from Calcutta University with specialization in biophysics. He joined the International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, New Delhi, where he continued his work in the field of DNA replication and RNA silencing. Most recently, he was INSA senior scientist at the Advanced Center of Plant Virology, Division of Plant Pathology, Indian Agricultural Research Institute. Dr. Mukherjee's work on P. chloroplast DNA replication led to the identification of replication factors that showed an interesting mix of prokaryotic and eukaryotic features. Dr. S.K. Mukherjee was elected to the Fellowship of Indian National Science Academy in 2007. Professor Ramesh Chandra Sachar, R.C. Sachar, born 24th August 29, passed away 4th of March 2023, obtained PhD from Delhi University. He worked as biochemist at Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi, also as professor, Department of Botany, University of Delhi. Professor Sachar contributed molecular mechanisms in the control of gene expression at the post-transcriptional and post-translational level by phytohormones in higher plants. Professor R.C. Sachar was elected to Fellowship of INSA in 1989. Dr. Prahlad Kishore Seth, P.K. Seth, born 15 June 43, passed away 22nd December 22, obtained his PhD at KG Medical College, Lucknow, in the field of biochemical pharmacology. Professor Seth had joined CSIR IITR and served as its director. He had been adjunct professor, Department of Elementology and Toxicology, Jamia Hamdard University, New Delhi, an honorary professor of biochemistry, Department of Biochemistry, Lucknow University. Lucknow, Professor Seth made notable contributions to molecular biology and biotechnology related to health sciences, particularly understanding the effect of chemicals and drugs on the nervous system. Professor P.K. Seth was elected to Fellowship of INSA in 1998. Dr. Mahendra Pal Singh, MP Singh, 15 June 31 born, passed away on 26 January 23, obtained his PhD in mathematics from University of Maryland, joined IIT Delhi. He led the initiative to set up the Center for Atmospheric Sciences. Professor Singh made pioneering contribution in fluid mechanics, modeling, monsoon dynamics, and atmospheric dispersion research. Professor M.P. Singh was elected to the fellowship of INSA in 86. Dr. Krityunjay Prasad Sinha, K.P. Sinha, born 5th of July 29, passed away 23rd January 23, obtained his PhD in solid state and theoretical physics from Pune University and Bristol University. He served as senior professor at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He was the director at Institute of Fundamental Research, Complex Systems, Shillong. Professor Sinha made the pioneering researchers on quantum theory of reaction mechanism in the solid state, the discovery and the first statistical theory of cooperative Jahn-Teller effect, induced structural phase transition, and the origin of ferroelectricity. Professor K.B. Sinha was elected to fellowship of INSA in 79. Dr. Kuppuswamy Nagarajan, K. Nagarajan, born 15th August 30, passed away on 8th of April 23. Obtained PhD from University of Madras for the studies on apporphine alkaloids. He held various positions including head medicinal chemistry, SIBA Research Center Director R&D of Surley India, Bombay, and Advisor R&D Center, Alchem Labs Limited, Bangalore. Dr. Nagarajan worked on drug discovery program where more than 20 compounds were taken to clinical stage. 5 were given marketing permission by the Drug Controller of India. Two of these, Sintamil and Centranzol, later became available in the Indian market. Dr. K. Nagarajan was elected to the fellowship of INSA in 77. The foreign fellows that we lost during this time, Professor Nicholas Evrion Mitchison, born 5th of May 28, passed away 28th of December 22, obtained DPhil from Oxford University, UK, and specialization of immunology. He served as scientific director, Duches Ruma Forge Zentum, Berlin, head division of experimental biology, National Institute of Medical Research, head of zoology department, University College London, and professor emeritus at University College London. Dr. Mitchison discovered the transference of transplantation immunity by sensitized cells, thereby providing evidence relating transplantation immunity to hypersensitivity reactions of the delayed type. Dr. Nicholas was elected as a foreign fellow of the INSA in 1990. We would hold 2 minutes silence in memory of all the fellows that we lost. pray for the peace of the departed souls. Thank you. The next thing on agenda is confirming minutes of anniversary general meeting. You would do that? Held on 14 to 16 December 22. Please go ahead.
So these minutes are already uploaded on the INSA website. So these minutes are uploaded on the INSA website. And I will also bring to your notice that there are a few nominations which have been received during 1st December to 30th April. So these are the 7 nominations for different sectional committees, rather 8 nominations for different sectional committees which have been received, and there are 2 nominations for the foreign fellowship. Will also like to announce the voting results on the amendments of INSA Rule number 4, 35 and 37. A letter was sent by me, and a good response towards the agreement of these amendments have been received. So I request President to get it formalized and included in our rules.
Yes, indeed. Two quick observations. The first is that, of course, that there have been nominations, but I think we all of us have to be more proactive in bringing. Sometimes, good nominations are not received. People are reluctant or don't know or don't care. We kind of reach out to more people, right kind of people, and encourage them to be nominated. Second is that the change in rules, Rule 43537, is overwhelmingly agreed by more than 99% of the votes, which basically shows that that this change has been long overdue, and that this is indeed, I'm happy that it got done. Please bring any other rules that come to our mind about saying that there's time to change them. Don't hesitate. I mean, these things are done periodically. Every few years, one should purge some and bring in some new stuff that is more effective for functioning of INSA. Okay, so that's it now.
So I think you need to announce the new constitution of in the council,
Right.
like the names. 6.
Give me the list. Can you give me the list of new council names? So until they dig out these names, I will announce that. I will go to the next one, which is to announce the modifications in the new category fellowships. So just to kind of reiterate, we considered that. Yeah, what happened?
So this is the constitution. They have not included the names.
Okay, but
Only that
only
the
with
one president,
so
6
this
vice
two
presidents,
yeah, okay, yeah, I mean,
and
right,
20 other fellows, making a total of 27 now.
yeah. So two new vice presidents. One of them is Dr. V.M. Tiwari, who would
No.
no.
I think that will go for voting.
They'll go for voting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what this is to be read.
This is to be there.
Okay, we read it, and it's good.
And
Okay.
there are, in addition, there are additional members,
Yeah.
and one each to be nominated
Okay.
by the different.
Right. So they have been nominated. They'll put up to vote and stuff. So you go to item number 6, which is to announce the modifications in the new category of fellowships. And so that this was discussed in last one council meeting. That our basic thing was that, look, I mean, people like Abdul Kalam and whole lot of people, they could not be elected as a fellow of INSA. So there are really, to my mind, there were two categories of fellows: those who create scientific knowledge and those who consume scientific knowledge for social economic impact. So while we totally recognize, and rightly so, people who create knowledge, we have no way to actually recognize people who use that knowledge and therefore create impact through science. So now two new categories of fellowship have been created. One of them is named Science and Translation, and the components of this category would be scientific leadership in science-based innovation, leadership in industrial R&D, leadership in technology missions of national importance, leadership in management of scientific institutions. And another category which is termed as science for society, there is a committee made for that to frame the kind of, like, okay, what kind of people do we want in there, how do we select them, and so on. So this meeting is yet to happen. It's co-chaired by Professor Dr. Mashelkar and me, and there are several people in that committee who will come up with some guidelines regarding this. There are new initiatives in INSA. So, by the way, now once we have these two committees functioning, I think it is for us to bring out like really good leadership names to be thus recognized under these committees. They should not be run of the mill. It's not like it should be very impactful and obvious to anybody in the society that they definitely deserve this kind of association with INSA. And the other new initiatives in INSA, uh, so before we come to specific initiatives, just like to point out that we should engage such a compelling fellowship of INSA in many different ways. There should be platform that allow, there should be schemes that allow a very large number of INSA fellows to engage gainfully in these activities. And so these are some examples, but there are many more that could happen. And through our participation and our ideas about what should be done and how it should be done. So, for example, okay, this is one INSA Young Scientist Associate Fellows is a new category of fellows that are being created. So they will remain engaged with the academy until they are age 40, so that they are not just one-time engagement. Like we had these young scientist awardees, so they receive something one time and then they go their way. I think it's good for them to be remain engaged with INSA. So this category of people until they are 40, and it's a fellowship, they'll receive 10,000 rupees per month for 1 year. Okay, and but then they remain engaged, I mean, until they are 40. This INSA distinguished teacher fellows similarly. INSA distinct Acha, so okay, we used to have lots of lectures. In place of that, we have INSA distinguished lecture series. Each sectional committee will have one INSA distinguished lecture. So, for example, I'll come to it. INSA distinguished lecture in biological sciences, general biology, engineering sciences, whatever. So we have 12 committees, and there would be INSA distinguished lecture in each of these areas. All right. Yes, you were asking. Yeah. In what?
No, no, we will have the age limit. We are actually constituting.
There was an age limit for. Yeah, but I thought is that same as distinguished teacher awardees or teacher awardee? They are two different things.
No, no, the new category which we are creating.
No,
They
old
guidelines.
ones. What was it? The distinct
55.
55. They're the people who got awards now, but they were not called distinguished teachers. Okay. I think it's good to
So
call
actually
everybody
we are
distinguished.
creating the
I think
guidelines
that's fine.
and they
Yeah.
will be circulated
Okay.
and then signed.
Yeah.
No, we have not decided.
Okay. We should quickly do
Do
the
that.
guidelines for this one. So what do you think? I mean, you think it's good to have 55? Why should we have for teachers 55? I think it should be people who are in, I mean, not retired yet. They're teaching. Right. I mean, anybody has an objection to that, you think? I mean, no, young scientist is okay, but for teacher, why should we have an age limit? Huh? Yeah. I mean, I also like to have a fair shot at it. You want to have a fair shot at it. So I mean, now you're now 55, right? But anyway, so I think why anyway we can discuss this, but I see no reason for it to be 55. Yeah. Okay, lecture series is there. Then then okay, there so we will have a series of workshops, conferences, training and stuff, and some examples of that. National Center for Good Governance, which is an autonomous institute of DOPT, Department of Personnel and Training. They are partnering with us to create a series leadership in science. Basically, scientists who work in labs and they maybe have potential to become directors or something or other. They need to be trained properly, maybe a week long course about finance, about human resources, about rules, all this stuff like that. There is a fourth, the Royal Society bilateral meeting is being revived. I think Professor Mehra, you know that this was not a little bit defunct for a few years.
No, no, it was already being done.
Ah,
It was being done online.
online, of course. Yeah, you're right.
Three meetings have been done online.
Okay, wonderful.
This is the fourth one, and since many of the members of the Royal Society will anyway be here, including the Science 20 meeting, they said, why don't we do it in person? Anyway, the dates are wrongly spelled. Should be July 24, 25, because our meeting in Coimbatore is July 21, 22, then 1 day gap, 23 and 24 and 25 July it will be done. And this time it will be, and there the both sides have agreed that the theme will be artificial intelligence and its impact, and hopefully it will be in this hall in person.
Very good. Thank you, and thank you for taking all this initiative, talking to these guys and kind of reviving it. Very good. Okay, that we want to set up a policy center in INSA, a policy related to science, and its translation and so on. So there are some efforts are being made in that direction. One proposal has been formulated. Let's see if we can get support for it. So this would involve also, INSA fellows, and I'm thinking of different ways in which to engage fellows. And so these are some examples of that. And you think of some more, we'll do that. Strengthening science journalism and popularization of science in India. There are some conferences that are planned, and also reaching out to different scientific publishers that they can support these kind of activities. Also bring in good speakers as well as financial support. An example is the one coming up with ACS, American Chemical Society INSA program. Similarly, I'm today talking to the Taylor and Francis group, and similarly Nature India, and whoever want to do it, they're very welcome to have a different kind of programs like this. Then there's a as you know that there's a the INSA is the knowledge partner for S20 Science 20 meetings, which are part of G20, and so they are going rather well. Um, Again, Professor Mehra, because G20 is an international engagement, so Professor Mehra has been taking a lead role in all of this, putting together. We have had 3 meetings so far, and the major themes of these meetings: clean energy for greener future, universal and holistic health, and connecting science to society and culture. And then there are going to be a policy paper related to all these, which would then be signed by G20 representatives, and hopefully is a good policy to consider in this. Then there are meetings and webinars which are planned, which are over here. But anyway, the whole point is that we need to do more of this. Uh, I think two things if we keep in mind: how do we kind of energize our fellowship and have them engage in different activities in a proactive manner, and what kind of schemes and platforms are needed for that to happen. So I would again and again request everybody to think about these things, bring some ideas on the table, and we can implement them. We should go ahead and do it. Okay, so now is that is done? Anything else?
Any other item, like if
Okay. Any other item? Anything anybody would like to say at this point? We can note that.
yes,
Yeah, this is Ranjan Malik from IT Delhi. This time, this year the Young Scientist Award call did not come.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Answer to that is yes. You're right.
But
Actually,
any
we can
particular
mention the
reason for that?
DST has asked us.
No, it's not it. See, all awards have been abolished forthwith. I mean, so all awards have been abolished by competent authority. Okay, so it's not done by INSA. You're not done. Okay, right.
Go to the email.
Okay, so now you would notice that, of course, that all these awards have a purpose, and I think we would meet that purpose without those awards.
I see.
Note the fellowships which are in place.
Okay,
In fact, I mean, for example, these young associate fellows, etc. Um, I mean, say they get fellowship 10,000 rupees per month for a year, which amounts to the same thing. Plus, the fact is that, in fact, it's even better. As I pointed out, There should not be one-time engagement with young scientists. They come, they have lunch, they take away the check and disappear. We want them, for example, when you have INSA meetings, etc. Many of them should remain integrated with the activities of INSA. In fact, you'd recall that INIAS, which is another component we started in 2015, of these young kind of people with potential, they are doing very well in terms of activities because they bring a lot of enthusiasm. uh, you know so if we can marry experience and enthusiasm, we can get a whole lot of things done. And so I expect that these young associate fellows, and not only that remain decorative or cosmetic aspect of INSA, but they also bring to table some action. Okay, where time is required, where effort is required, where something needs to be done, can we actually leverage